Hope y'all are having a great weekend. Welcome to our market recap and game plan meeting. Normally we meet Monday through Friday for our market game plan, but I decided to host a live session on Sunday. I wasn't able to make Friday, so I wanted to jump on here, discuss a prior week, what's going on in the macro, what's going on with Trump, the overall market, discuss some of the best names from last week, as well as what we should keep on watch for the coming week. Okay, so please smash that like button, share with others, and talk to me in the comments. We have a little bit more time. Normally, during our morning game plan meeting, the market is about to open. We're ready to go. So we have a little bit more time today. It's a little bit more relaxed. The market isn't open, so we can contemplate, reflect, and have a better or longer discussion. Okay. So drop your questions, comments, anything you want to talk about in the chat, and we will jump on it. All right. Thank you all for being here early Sunday morning. So let's jump right into it. All right. So let's talk macro for a second. So over the past 2 weeks, we've pretty much, U.S. indices were up. Here's around where we started this year, and then we were up, around 7 to 10% or so, and then that was just totally erased in the past just 2 weeks alone. So most of that, as we know, is due to the tariff turmoil, Doge, immigration, economy slowing down, market uncertainty. A lot of hedge funds have posted that they have aggressively de-risked their portfolios, right? So I used to think that fundamentals were just unnecessary, but I've realized that if you look at our indices, right, with all that's going on compared to the Euro 50, for example, the Euro indices are up this year. Okay, so they're up this year about 7 to 10%, and then the HK50, Hong Kong index, is up like over 20%. Okay, and that's due to DeepSeek AI, their tech and optimism, right? So you can see the differences in some of the other countries' indices based in comparison to the U.S. indices, right? Some people are saying that Trump's policies are helping the other countries' indices and markets and hurting ours. So I think there's an overall play here. What's happening with our market is, as these hedge funds are selling off, they're taking profits. This is a much needed pullback. It's setting up for another move higher, right? That's how I'm seeing it, and it's a longer term outlook. But I wouldn't focus on the panic so much if you're a day trader. I'm taking advantage of the volatility and trying to prepare myself for the next leg higher. All right. Now we start with the macro because I break my outlook into three. One is the overall market. What's happening in the overall market? Are we in a bull market or in a bear market? And that will impact how I trade personally, how long I hold onto positions, and it will reflect in some of the names that I trade. The next is themes and sectors. Okay, so themes and sectors. Okay, so you may have a sector like quantum computing, and you can take advantage of the quantum names. They'll all be moving relatively the same. You may have a sector, you may have AI, right? And all the AI names may be moving similar or the same, because you'll have these hedge funds, they have such large capital that they have to spread their risk across different assets that are within the same basket, right? In the same sector. So you'll see a lot of the names in one sector moving similarly, right? You may have themes like crypto, for example. So you'll have whatever Bitcoin is doing, you'll see the crypto related stocks moving. Themes like when Donald Trump was running for president, we were trading a lot of DJT, because there's a lot of optimism and speculation around him being elected. So DJT had a lot of volatility. So the third would be for me are individual stocks. Okay. So these individual stocks that they're whatever the market's doing, regardless of what the market is doing, they have their own catalysts. Traders are rushing into those names and trading those names. You see elevated volume, and the market can be going up. Everything can be going up, and they can be going down, right? Or everything can be going down, they can be going up. So that's how I sort of partition things in my mind when I'm trading. So since I'm long based, primarily when the market is doing what it's doing because of the turmoil, et cetera, I'll primarily shift to certain themes, sectors, if they're strong versus relatively strong versus the overall market, or individual names. And that's what we've been on. Okay. So in a minute, we'll go into the individual names that we traded. And there's a sector that started to heat up as well, and we started to trade it. So we'll get into that. Okay. So overall though, let's talk about overall, the new tariff announcements, threats, retaliations, this has eroded investor sentiment and has put headwinds on the overall market. And if this doesn't change, I think Trump has said that April 2nd, like he made some delays until April 2nd. If we have multiple quarters of this uncertainty, then we could see the stocks continuing to decline just because of that. Now, technicals are setting up for a monster rally, right? But as I've been saying, any bounces higher are likely to be faded right now until we have a change in the rhetoric. Okay. So Thursday, market got really low, created a new low. And then Friday, we had a rebound. It's back up to resistance levels. But this isn't quite the right side of the V, right? We've had rebounds like that happen and then shorts off. So if you're trading a market play, overall indices, right now, what's driving the market lower is still intact. Okay, so that's my outlook. All right. Now, what should we look for? What's coming up next week? So you have Powell on Wednesday, which since the economy's slowing, he's going to have a dovish approach. So he's going to be stating most of the same thing. Okay. You have the CEO of NVIDIA, which NVIDIA can drive a lot of what we see on indices. A lot of that bullish momentum that we see in the Qs is because of NVIDIA. So NVIDIA CEO is going to be coming out next week, and he's going to give a bullish outlook on AI, their next generation chip, Rubin, that they're coming out with. So we can expect that, and that can help push the AI names higher. All right. So that's something to take a look at next week. Okay. So April 2nd is a pivotal moment. We'll see if the White House decides to repurpose or reframe the tariff conversation. If so, then that's what will give the bulls hope. So we can take it. This is a lot of selling here, and that can continue. But if they are to change the rhetoric, then we can have that rally, and we can easily go back up to highs again. Okay. All right. So we'll see about that. So let's talk about the themes. All right. Later in the week, quantum started to run. And I mentioned this in our game plan on, I think maybe Wednesday. Yeah, about Wednesday. We had some catalysts. We had NVIDIA turning. And so we had RGTI, and the quantum name started to take a turn. So we started to have, I think as early as Wednesday, we had RGTI, QBTS, QMCO, these quantum names. We had them in our game plan. So on, I think it was last Friday, they started to turn. There was a drop, and then Wednesday they rallied. Thursday we had a pullback, we had some rallying, we had a slight pullback, and then Friday they exploded. Okay. So RGTI, I'm going to keep that in the on watch for this coming week. So if you can trade RGTI, that's one that we traded together. QBTS is another in the quantum basket that we traded, which if you started on Wednesday, rallied. Thursday didn't even have the pullback that we saw on RGTI. So actually in our community, we prioritized QBTS above RGTI. Normally RGTI is probably like the core that I'll trade. It'll have more volume than the others, but QBTS had its own catalyst, right? So here's where, you have a sector and then you have a stock that has its own catalyst. So not only is the sector moving, but then the stock has its own positive catalyst. So because it has its own positive catalyst, that move one that we saw on RGTI on Thursday, that pullback didn't happen on QBTS, and we jumped right on that and traded it. So some of our trades started here on QBTS, and then as you see with on Friday, that one exploded, right? So quantum, I take a look at because this type of move takes some money, takes some smart money. So let's see if we are approaching the highs from this year. Okay. So if we have a pullback, we have some more zones here to buy the dip on these names. If it is to break, then that means that there's some serious optimism going into NVIDIA CEO. I need to see how to pronounce his name. I only read it, but I always forget how to pronounce his name. But so we're approaching this year's highs here. So price can pull back. We have a lot of zones to be buying the dip from, right? So if price action and order flow aligns, we'll be buying the dip there. If it does push through, then we'll continue. We'll look for continuation. Okay, so that's all of them. So QMCO was another one that came into play on Thursday. It hit the scan, and it did a little bit. It's in that quantum basket. Didn't move quite as much as RGTI. There's a bunch of them. QUBT, that's one, right? So you see, as I mentioned, the larger traders, they'll have to spread their risk. So they'll make investments in into different names, and you'll see that entire basket moving. Okay, so that's one that I'll be taking a look at. One sector. So watch what happens with NVIDIA. Keep an eye on that. Look at PLTR as well. See how they hold up. But that quantum basket is definitely squeezed higher. So I'm on that one. All right. All right. Now let's move into some individual names. Okay. So that was the hottest sector for me. Now, some of the best individual trades came from CRVO. CRVO on Wednesday, this one moved, like 250%. Pre-market gave beautiful. I'm sorry, not pre-market. This came on Wednesday. This shot up like after it was dead, and then during the day after trading open, this was a really nice setup. Very strong momentum, a lot of scalps here on that one. And then I kept it in the list after, and the next day I just started to watch it. And then we had trades on Thursday pre-market, very strong trading on Thursday pre-market. And then it also pulled back and held up. And then Friday heat up again, right? So as the market is in decline, CRVO, it has its own catalyst. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I go back and study this one. I'm going to study the tape as well, just so I can master and continue to get better and better and faster at executing my trades. But go ahead, definitely take a look at CRVO. This one gave really nice setups on last week. Okay, another one that came up was Dogwood was a sleeper. This one started to heat up on Friday. Well, it had a catalyst way back in January, popped, and then eventually sold off. Then reignited the prior Friday week. And then Monday, it just continued. Monday, second day, continued higher. Tuesday, volume came in, it ran up. Wednesday, again, pre-market, ran up, and then it faded off. So that's one that I want. The catalyst wasn't like a significant long-term catalyst, and it doesn't have to be. If traders start to trade it, it pops up on the scan. Everybody starts to rush inside. Volume is elevated. Price action is there. Order flow is there. Sometimes that's how it is. And then traders are just trading against each other. And then you start to see it fade off. You start to see like a short start to get squeezed out. Because typically these smaller stocks, what they do is exactly what you see here. It's a run up. And there's people that build their entire career off the long side and people that build their entire career off the short side. Sometimes when those shorts get caught, they may sell. They sell on the first pop. They get caught when they cover shorts. They have to buy, so that pushes price high very aggressively, and that's where we on the long side take advantage of. What they have an advantage of is that 85-90% of the time after the squeeze is gonna decline. They just have to work on their timing to ensure that they are shorting at the right time because they can be squeezed. And then we have to take advantage of the long side. And then once it starts to short off, then we back off. Then there's some people that do both long and short. So they eat on the long side and then they master the short side. So that's how you can maximize both directions on these types of stocks. So DWTX, I call it a sleeper just because it was one that wasn't expected. I didn't expect it. So that's one that I would definitely go back and take a look at. Okay. All right. LFWD. This one popped on Wednesday, hit the scan and took advantage of it. And then it faded off. That was a short one. GV, I would say here on Wednesday. So prior week we had it on watch because it started to run. And then ran up on Wednesday and Friday. All right, so took advantage of GV. So some of these, as I mentioned, overall market's going down. These have their own catalyst, elevated volume. They hit the scan, boom, we're on it, right? So I feel like with this style, we will have name. I remember hearing Mike Bellafiore at a conference. He's like, when you trade stocks, we have opportunities almost every single day, right? Almost every single day, and that's how it is now. Like with indices, sometimes you hit right now. Indices are directional, so it's a lot easier to trade. Sometimes when you get into those ranges where you don't have catalysts, like something that's constantly driving one direction, they become harder to trade and a lot more choppy. But we can count on directional moves when there's a catalyst, elevated volume. We can see it clearly, price action and order flow, right? So if the overall market is going in one direction, we can take advantage. If certain sectors are hot, we can take advantage. If not, we fall back onto individual names, take advantage. Okay, so that's how we will continue to have plays. Okay, all right. So INTC. Let's talk about Intel. So Intel, there was what was the catalyst? They hired a new. I think it was they appointed a new CEO. And with his track record, analysts love Intel's CEO choice, but not enough to recommend buying the stock. I think this was before. This was right out. I mean, these are headlines that came out after we started to really jump into it. But the first headline that really caused that initial spike was, I think this was on Wednesday. It gapped up, and I think we had it in our game plan. No, this was it. This is Thursday. Yeah. So we didn't really put it into the game plan. I think I had it in the game plan here, but it shorted off, but it reemerged in our game plan for Thursday. Sorry, after the spike, and this spike was due to that CEO announcement. So we had some plays on Wednesday at the open on Intel. It ran up here. So we traded it in our group here. So price pushed through, and we had a rally. It broke the prior day's high, pushed through, pushed up, pulled back, gave some setups here. Didn't really do much on Friday, but that was another one that was in the basket. All right, so SONA was one that popped up on the scan that we took some trades on. And let me see. Yep. So that's it for me. Let me see. WTX. There's other little smaller trades here and there, but those that gave the biggest range of moves. Okay. So as I mentioned, coming up this week, bullish outlook on AI. So I'm on quantum. I'm on AI. So I'm looking at those names. I'll be following NVIDIA, and there's a basket of AI stocks, SOUN. Okay. So the AI, I covered the quantum names, but I didn't quite cover AI. So I'm looking at the AI names like SOUN. These are like my go-to for smaller price stocks that'll move when NVIDIA is moving, when AI is hot. So SOUN, you can keep an eye on BBAI. And there's a few others that I'll post on Monday. So those are the ones that I'll be looking at. QBTS on the quantum side. These have been a lot more aggressive. So I'll be looking at them. RGTI, keeping that on watch. Okay. So that's a sector that I'll be looking at. And I'd love to take a look, keep Mara and Bitcoin just in the back of my mind, even though we haven't had we've been sort of in a range, but I feel that Trump is cooking something up with some of the announcements that he's put out about crypto. So we'll see if we have some headlines around that. We have a lot of room, like from 83 back up to 100K. That's a lot of buying there, and I'm just putting you on notice. So when that 100K run is to happen, then I'll be on Mara and Coin and MSTR, the crypto related equities. Okay, so I'm just kind of keeping them in the back of my mind. All right, but overall, what's this week? Okay, so we mentioned Jensen, NVIDIA. We mentioned Powell, right? So I think that it's typically, it's normally just going to be a headline driven week, right? So I have that sector, quantum and AI, and then everything else I'll just be looking at individual names, okay? Until we have something different or we have a shift in the narrative. So we rallied on Friday, but chasing that is like, you see a steamroller coming towards you, and then there's like some pennies there you're trying to grab before the steamroller hits you, right? Rather, if you're trading indices, if you want to go long, and all this can change. But right now, everything's favoring the short side, okay? And I've just been saying this, so this will just be a time where I'm just making money from the shorts. You can buy the other side if you have enough mental agility to shift. If not, then you can wait for resistance to be retested, and then boom, smash it. Okay. All right. What's up, y'all? SMCI, we haven't talked about as well. It was in our game plan for Wednesday, and we had a pullback, and then Friday it moved. So I missed talking about SMCI. But look, what's up? Let me see. What's up? Let me check the comments. All right. What's up? What's going on, Gerald? Kyler? Greetings. Good morning, Brandon. So talk to me. What you looking at? Y'all good? Okay. All right. So let's do this then. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I will see you all in the morning. Okay. All right. Monday morning, I'm here fresh. It's spring break. Kids will be out of school. So I'll be on it, smashing it. And then I'll try to do some stuff with the fam. Hope y'all have a great weekend. I'm about to get to my review, and continue to do your reviews. Continue to make sure that you are locked in and ready. Get some sleep, get some rest, get your exercise in, relax your mind, and be ready to show up on Monday. Okay. All right. Hope y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.